Hey there, it's your boy Nate, and we're back with another tutorial. Today we're going to be doing a meadow garden, which is what won the poll recently. So basically what we have here is we have our little layout like usual, and basically what we have is a little pond area that will be filled in. We have a couple little height elevation variants, and we will be adding a couple things like borders, all that mess. But yeah, let's get started to it. Basically, we're trying to keep it short and sweet, but basically the first thing we want to do is obviously freshen up the borders a bit better, so we can obviously add borders in. Now we are going to demonstrate two types of borders that would be best for this type of garden. For a garden, you can easily do things like stone borders like this, but so you can also do a couple of other variations of stone, uh, like this one right here, which is one I used to use a lot, which is basically it's like the missing thing. It's sort of like stacked stones. You can do this sort of mess, and it has all that cool texture to it. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to make it sort of a layered garden for this section, and then this one's going to be a higher area. And of course, as we bring it around this way, we would obviously proceed onward like so until we got to the far end. Now, since I am not going to be cutting this video at any point, I'm just going to tell you guys real quick. There's so many things that you can do with this. You can take regular planks, you can take diorite, you can take pretty much any stone you want. As long as it fits your palette desires, it can work. There's all sorts of things you can do with this. Now, I do enjoy it when you guys do your own thing with it, like create your own designs, but that is not a requirement. Now, obviously, this is something that is what I would think looks best. Like this tone bricks, I think goes great with Meadow, but it is all up to you in the end. But right now, we're just messing with this. You can obviously see that the high elevation is a big thing. Now, if I, however, went like this, you can see that though it is simple and more cost effective, it does not look as good. It looks like it has a bit of a janky depth perception. Now, it can work. Do not get me wrong, it can work. But I would definitely not advise it. And there's the other variant, which I see. It's just. But yeah, adding depth to it, like the height variation, is a big deal. Then of course we're going to go around here. Oh, and also the full block thing does the same thing. And yeah, we'll just leave it like that for now. And the next thing I want to show you is, so I know people like to use things like regular fences on this. Where is the fence this time? Yeah, I often see people doing, why do I have chat open as well? Okay, I often see people using this as just regular fencing if they want to fence off a section. Now, obviously, yes, this is the usual go-to thing if you want to break something up. But is it necessary? Not by a long shot. You can actually make custom ones that look fairly better and do the same trick. So as you can see, I'm going to break these up by a 2 block gap. Do whatever spacing you really prefer, really. But this is the gap I'm going to do. And we're going to separate this section off just for a demonstration, because I think that Meadow Garden is the perfect time to demonstrate this. You see, we actually are breaking it apart using this. Now, nothing is getting through that, is it? Now, there's also another variation we could do, and I'm going to demonstrate that as well. So, using a trap door, we can still get the same effect. Of course, I managed to grab a pressure plate instead. But basically, if we do the same thing right here, it's the same thing, or even like this. Honestly, in this scenario, I think this pressure plate actually is the best choice. We're going to switch it out right quick. And then if we do that, actually, I think we can also do something like this. So I'm just showing you a couple options, but the last one is what we're going to settle with. So there we go. And basically, we're just going to repeat that. Now, obviously, paths like this and fencing is not required. You just usually I don't do this many sections off. I'm trying to demonstrate a couple things this tutorial. Now, obviously, for doing a fence, we probably need a gate of some kind. Well, honestly, that's where these come in as well. So people often see using the regular fence gates, but realistically, these actually can look pretty elegant if you just do it like this, and then just put something up down the middle, but obviously not like that. But no, do something like this, put a full post in the center, and pass on through. Now, what we often want to do next is figure out what we're going to put in each place. Now, obviously, for this one, we do have a beehive because it is a particular garden that we want that sort of thing with. Now, that's going to be our aquatic area over here. So, where we're going to put the beehive is probably going to be over in the larger area, say over here. Now, if we're doing a one beehive, we definitely want to have a couple of friends from two. So, we're going to put 4 beehives in a row like that. And stick to our wood palette and place it up along that. There, and like so. Now we have the little bee box. Obviously, they need something to go with. And yes, we should also get to work over this. But before we get started on that, we do need to get to work on some flowers that are nearby. Specifically, ones that are like brightly colored. So we're going to switch to our usual torch flower as I casually realized that we did not bring this fully round. But yes, we have all that mess right there. You can do that, and then you can add all sorts of different colors as well. We're going to add a little blue for contrast. And yes, I do this only just for fun, pretty much. I'm not really trying to get any big gain out of this. I'm not trying to get popular. I already have a solid standing on Twitch, so really YouTube is just a side gig that I enjoy doing from time to time. Twitch is definitely my big main gig, and I enjoy it for the community that I have there. And yes, I do hope to go full and see you guys there at some point. But this is definitely where I started off, and it will always have a place in my heart. Now let's move on to the next thing. We often want to move and repeat the same style for at least 2 planters, just to have a unified feel, make everything not feel like it's too broken up, while still maintaining that it is broken up to a healthy extent. So we'll generally have 2 or 3 variations of the planter, but for this one, we will start with torch flower again and move on to our blue orchid. Now, there's various things you can do with this. You can bring in nether plants, bring in all sorts of things. But even like full blocks can sometimes work and if done right. And there we go. That one is done right there. We can go ahead and bring in another plant right here. But yeah, there's so many things you can do. You can bring out that thing. So what we'll do in a sec is we'll bring out one of those just to demonstrate. And then also the stereotype of meadows in Minecraft always having the sunflowers. And so we're going to be using those as well, but honestly, I don't know why I'm ranting so much. It is early in the morning for me, so I'm just trying to chill and dialogue as I record. But as you can see, it already has that bit of variation we want. Now, what else can we throw down is probably over here, the garden over here. We could definitely get some aquatic mess in there. But we also want to make sure our regular ones, which are going to be a bit shorter once we do this, are a bit standing out. So we're going to switch for the nether plants as I previously stated. Now what we're going to do for the wet nether is we're going to mix the 2 root types you find commonly. Okay. I also have a bit of a cold, so I don't know if you notice I have sniffles a bit, but it's fine. And there we go. We're going to bring that around like that. You can see that does add a cool uniqueness to that. Now, obviously, we would not stop there. Now we can go a little further with this than that. And obviously, bring in a little bit of red, a little bit over here. And the other one won't have this over there. This is specifically this planter. And now that we have that handled, we do want to bring out the sunflower as previously mentioned. The sunflower is a plant that is basically a must-have for this, except that I'm realizing where the south is. I mean, the north is, wherever it is, wherever it faces. So this means that it can only realistically be placed on this planter, given the direction it currently faces. Now, yes, we will be just putting down an absolute hell of a ton right here. And there we go. Once these are all down, we can, of course, move on to placing some more things. Okay, now that we have the sunflowers in place, we can move on over here and find an alternative, which is pretty easy. Like, we can do the peonies. Peonies are a solid choice as well. So the reason we'll be doing the peonies is because they add a solid contrast that isn't too heavy, but is still noticeable. When you look at that, now that we have that in place, go ahead and work on this area over here. But I want to bring out the leaves first. So we have the oak leaves because oak is the main tree that spawns this biome anyway. So here we go. We're going to just sort of detail around this. Why did I put that in the shield slot of all things? And basically this is a good thing to place around borders pretty much in this type of garden. And just sort of don't make it clean if you don't want to. You can make it clean obviously, but if you're going for a rustic thing like I am, it is best to leave it as messy as you can. And of course, next up, I'm going to just casually add a little bit of a separation here. Make it its own kind of wall. Sort of like an untrimmed bush, you could say. And we could also repeat that same thing over on this side if we wanted to. And then we can hide like a bench back here. That could actually work quite well. Yeah, that's basically what there's to this. And we just wrap this around as well. And we can also hide this off. We can hide off this little pond. Just not entirely, but enough to where it's slightly concealed. You look at that, it's already starting to come together. Now, if we're going to do this, we could also place a little fountain right about here, but let's not. Let's go ahead and actually place a tree over here and right over here. So the trees are a fun thing to mess with. Custom trees, especially pine, which we're going to put here, is a interesting thing that can always liven up a build. We're going to use the full wood block and just sort of, did I really not grab the full wood block? I did not. Okay. There we go. And bring it on up. And that should be a decent height for the first one. And for the second one, we'll put it over here before we move on to our benches when we're done with this. And onward we go. There. And now that we have that in place, we can go ahead and build this up. So the thing with the trees is that you always want to make it thinner at the top and fatter on the bottom. Actually, not even fatter on the bottom. Fatter about 2/3 towards the bottom. The reason you don't want it all the way on the bottom is because you have to have sort of the bulge at the center, or it will look like it's more of a cartoon Christmas tree, you could say. And there we go. got that one done, and bring that out. And continue over with this one as well. And we can easily handle this. And if you are building in the really creative mode, you can just hold it down. Now in survival, it is better to just manually place it slowly, but in the creative, like I can just pretty much almost hold it down, you could say. But yes, I've also built these in survival. They're not hard at all. And there we go. Now we have 2 trees ready to go, and we need to move on to our little paths. They're obviously need to go through here. Grab ourselves a shovel, and basically with the shovel, you can sort of just do a simple trick. Oh, I forgot, we don't have that. These are all moss blocks because because of the type of super flat I built it on. So instead we'll just move this in. So we can just mix in coarse dirt for another type of custom path, obviously. And there we go. Already starting to come together. And we can start building a couple more things. Now, really, the next thing we want to do is build the park benches. The park benches, we can obviously just bring this in and bring in a couple trapdoors. There's a couple variants you can do, so let's make 2 variants to show you guys. This is one we use very frequently on the channel. It's just a couple benches with some trapdoors in the end. Now over on this particular one, let's go and do a little something a bit more special. We can obviously start with our regular trapdoors, but we're going to switch for a slab and some doors as well. Now this one is a similar idea, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to bring it out like that, add 2 on the sides, and obviously we're going to bring the last 3 doors around the back, allowing for a very unique kind of bench. And we can obviously bring around this same thing as the other path, bring that around over there. And now we can move on to our aquatics. There we go. And our aquatic little thing back here is going to be pretty easy to do as well. Basically what we're going to try to do is we're going to make a little axolotl pond because I thought, hey, why not? Axolotls are cute. We could put those in there. And so we have our regular water bucket and we have our axolotl bucket. Both are which things we need. What am I thinking right here? Yeah. There we go. And then we're not going to put the axolotls in just yet. We want to make sure we have something to build with around it. We just put a rock over in the dead center of it, just so things have a place to sort of, rest. And we're going to get rid of that one. And there we go. That's the rock right there. And we can obviously put some drip leaf and lily pads. Lily pads are fun, a little addition as well. And sorry about my ramblings, but this is what I tend to do. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this and just go for the small drip leaf, and we're gonna go next for the, where was it? The lily pads, of course. Okay, once we have these in place, we can obviously add in some axolotl. This is going to be specifically more around the edges and the far end, and we're going to add in just a couple lily pads, not too much. And now we can add in our 2 little axolotls. No, that's pretty much all there is to this kind of building. Pretty much it's just let your mind flow and basically see where you end up. It's just a chill thing that I like to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to let me know in the comments. Let me know what kind of builds you enjoy doing. If you got any inspiration from this. And honestly, if there's any ways I can improve, also let me know that in the comments if you wish to. And thanks for watching. And if you want to support me more actively, I do have a Twitch account, and I stream daily on Twitch. Actually, that I do make most of my revenue off of that anyway. And if you want to support me in any real way, Twitch is the way to go. I do still do YouTube like every now and then, roughly once every 2 weeks, and that's when you can expect my uploads. But yeah, it is definitely nice seeing you guys. I was glad to make another video for you guys. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.